Have you ever spotted a rat moving along your fence line at dusk and immediately started thinking about poison? You're not alone. Most people reach for a bait station or call for the strongest thing available, and that instinct feels completely logical. Here is what nobody tells you. The most common way people kill rats in their yards is silently destroying every owl, hawk, and snake within a quarter mile of your property. And once those animals are gone, the rat problem does not shrink. It gets significantly worse. There is a real reason not to kill it, and it has nothing to do with the rat being harmless. The animal you are looking at along that fence is the Norway rat, Rattus norvegicus, and it is one of the most successful mammals on the planet. It is not a sewer creature that wandered into your neighborhood by accident. It lives wherever humans leave resources available. Brown-gray fur, blunt nose, small rounded ears, a scaly tail shorter than its body. Nothing about it looks particularly dangerous. Nothing about it looks particularly intelligent either. Both of those impressions are wrong. Norway rats have weak eyesight. They are almost colorblind, which is part of why they press tightly along walls and fences when they move. They are using their whiskers, not their eyes, to navigate. Those long vibrissae sense every surface variation on a familiar runway. A rat that uses your fence line twice becomes a rat that uses your fence line every night, in complete darkness, at nearly the same speed as in daylight. You will see the same track, in the same location, night after night. That is not coincidence. That is a memorized route. Here is where it starts to get more complicated. Rats learn. Not metaphorically, literally. When a rat encounters a new object in its environment, it avoids it for days. Researchers call this neophobia, and it is more pronounced in rats than in almost any other rodent. A snap trap placed on an active runway can sit untouched for 5 days before a rat investigates it. A new bait station may go ignored for the same reason. If a rat eats something that makes it ill, including a sublethal dose of poison, it forms a durable aversion to that specific food that can last months. It will avoid similar-smelling substances too. And in a 2025 peer-reviewed study from the Max Planck Institute, wild-type Norway rats in semi-natural colonies were shown to transmit solutions to difficult food acquisition problems through direct observation of their peers. The rat along your fence is not operating alone, and it is not operating stupidly. None of this means it is safe. It isn't. Wild rats carry bacteria in their mouths and shed pathogens through their urine. Leptospirosis, a bacterial infection, is transmitted through contact with rat urine in contaminated water or soil. The risk is real, most severe in areas with poor sanitation and flooding. And it is the reason you should never handle a wild rat or reach into any area where rats have nested without gloves and a respirator. Rat bite fever is transmitted through bites or scratches, and up to 10% of rat bites may cause it, though it is rare in the United States. Rats should not be cornered, picked up, or touched. The disease risk from a single rat visible in an open yard during normal outdoor activity is a very different situation than a rat colony nesting inside your home. And those two situations require different responses, but neither one is trivial, and neither one should be ignored. What drew that rat to your yard is almost certainly one specific thing: a resource you are providing without knowing it. Birdseed on the ground under a feeder. An open compost bin that contains cooked food or meat scraps. A pet bowl left outside after dark. Fallen fruit from a tree. Standing water, a woodpile stacked against the house. Dense ground cover where a burrow entrance can be concealed. Rats do not choose a yard because it is a yard. They choose it because something in it feeds or shelters them. Remove the rat while leaving the resource, and another rat, or several, will occupy the same territory within weeks. The rat you see is a symptom. The attractant is the actual problem. This is the part most people never hear. When you put a bait station in your yard containing a second-generation anticoagulant rodenticide, the standard retail option, with products containing brodifacoum, bromadiolone, or diphthialone, you are not creating a fast, contained solution. These compounds work by blocking vitamin K, which animals need for blood to clot. The rat does not die quickly. It spends several days moving slowly, losing coordination, and bleeding internally. During those days, it is easy prey. An owl hunting at night sees a stumbling rat and takes it. A red-tailed hawk spots it at the edge of your lawn and strikes. A rat snake moving through your yard does exactly what rat snakes do. What they swallow carries a rodenticide load many times above what it takes to kill a bird or reptile that size. A wildlife clinic at Tufts University tested every red-tailed hawk admitted between 2017 and 2019. All 43 carried rodenticides. All of them died. 91% carried 2 or more compounds. New York State's Department of Environmental Conservation found detectable rodenticide levels in 77% of 65 dead raptors found in and around New York City parks between 2018 and 2023. A UC Davis study found rat poison in 70% of northern spotted owls tested. These are not outliers. The poison moves through slugs, through songbirds, through every link in the local food chain, accumulating as it rises. Brodifacoum has been detected in over 90% of slugs sampled after bait applications in residential areas. The animals dying in your neighborhood from this process are barn owls, red-tailed hawks, Cooper's hawks, rat snakes, foxes, and bobcats. A single barn owl family removes 1,000 to 3,000 rodents in a year. Rat snakes, non-venomous, non-aggressive, native to most of North America, are named for a reason. They live in the same suburban environments where rats live. They enter the same burrows. They are actively suppressing rat populations on your street whether you can see them or not. When you introduce rodenticide into that system, you are not removing one rat. You are systematically eliminating the only animals capable of keeping rat populations in long-term check. The rat population you are trying to reduce is the direct beneficiary of every hawk and owl that dies because of that bait. If that sounds like the kind of thing you want to understand, not just feel afraid of, but actually understand, this channel covers what lives near your home and why the default reaction is sometimes the most destructive one. Hit subscribe. But first, let's go through the myths, because several of them are making this problem worse right now. Rats only live in sewers. They don't. Sewer rat is a nickname, not a habitat. Norway rats live under wood piles, in compost bins, under concrete slabs, along fence lines, in crawl spaces, and inside walls. If you have ever assumed your yard was safe because it wasn't near a sewer, that assumption has no foundation. One rat means a few rats. It usually doesn't. Norway rats are colony animals with social hierarchies. A rat visible in daylight is often a sign that the colony is large enough to push individuals into less preferred hours. The one you see is rarely the complete picture. A cat will handle it. A domestic cat is a serious predator of mice. Against a full-grown Norway rat, the dynamic is different, and a cornered rat is large enough to injure a cat. More importantly, a cat that catches and eats a poisoned rat faces the same secondary poisoning risk as any other predator. If a neighbor has used rodenticide, your cat is in danger. An approachable rat must be rabid. Rabies in Norway. Rats is extremely rare. The CDC does not list rats among animals of primary concern for rabies transmission. A rat that seems slow or approachable is more likely injured, cornered, or part of a very large, bold colony than it is rabid. Treating every visible rat as a rabies risk leads to panic-based decisions that make the situation worse. Now, here is where most encounters turn dangerous. Someone spots a rat near a woodpile and moves the wood quickly, reaching in without looking. Rats burrow under stacked debris. A startled rat does not want to bite you. A cornered rat has no other option. Moving something slowly, with a flashlight, from a distance is the difference between the rat escaping and the rat feeling trapped. Someone leaves the pet bowl outside after dark and wonders the next morning why the yard suddenly has a problem. Someone puts out a bait station casually, underdoses it, and creates a population of bait-shy survivors that have now learned to avoid every poison-linked scent. Someone's dog investigates a burrow and gets bitten. None of these scenarios happen because the rat was hunting anyone. What actually works starts with removing every attractant. Sealed trash, no fallen fruit, no pet food outdoors after dark, sealed metal compost bins raised off the ground, cleared dense ground cover. Find the burrow, a smooth-edged hole roughly 6 to 9 centimeters across near a foundation or fence. That tells you where the colony is centered. Use snap traps on active runways, placed along walls, not in open space. Leave them unset and baited for about a week before arming them. This overcomes neophobia and gets the rats feeding confidently before the trap is live. Snap traps kill instantly and leave nothing for a predator to eat. No secondary poisoning. No educational survivors. Seal gaps in foundations with hardware cloth or steel wool. Rats can compress through openings around 1.5 inches wide. For active burrows near structures or any interior infestation, contact a licensed pest management professional and specifically ask about second-generation anticoagulant rodenticide risk if they recommend baiting, and then stop killing the rat snakes and leave the owl nest boxes alone. So you are back at the fence line at dusk, watching that rat move along its memorized route. The composting bin is 30 feet away. The bird feeder has been dropping seed for a month. The woodpile is stacked against the house. The rat did not find your yard at random. Your yard built the invitation, sent it out, and kept the light on. The risk is real. You should not touch it. You should not let your dog near it. And you should not ignore what finding it in daylight might mean about the size of the colony. But the poison that your instinct tells you to reach for will not solve the problem. It will spread through every predator that keeps the problem in check. And by spring, the imbalance it creates will be worse than what you started with. Here is the comment question. If you found a rat in your yard tonight, would you reach for a bait station or remove the food source first? And be honest, because most people already know which one they would actually do. The rat didn't choose your yard. Your yard chose the rat. The more important question is what your yard might have been feeding long before you noticed it.